We tried really hard to get this scheduled. I wish we could have gotten a time when everybody was here. We had, I thought it was school days, business days.
Yeah.
You know, we had 40 days after the election. I also thought it was after the election was certified. So we had a little problem with that. We had, you know, it's a busy May. We had a couple illnesses, so we had to get this in by May 12th. So we got a pretty good group today. So we need roll call.
Mr. Fritz?
Here.
Mrs. Gates?
Here.
Mrs. LeBlanc Parks?
Here.
Mr. Rogers?
Here.
Mrs. Schaefer? Mr. Wadsworth?
Here.
Mrs. Wagner?
Here. The Pledge of Allegiance. Aaron, would you lead us in the pledge?
I'd love to.
You never.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Was there any public comment? Our first order of business, I'll declare the results of the board election. The election April 1st, 2025, a total of 1,796 voters voted. Brandon Rogers, 1,246. Linda Wagner, 1,316. John Wadsworth, 1,275. Linda LeBlanc Parks, 1,303. And that includes both Lee and Ogle County. I need a motion that the board authorizes the results of the school board member election held on that date, April 1st, 2025, as reported to the Lee County Clerk.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Fritz?
Aye.
Mrs. Gates?
Aye.
Mrs. LeBlanc Parks?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Wagner?
Aye. We need a motion that the board proclaims that Linda LeBlanc Parks, Brandon Rogers, John Wadsworth, and Linda Wagner are elected as members of the Dixon Public School District number 170 Board of Education.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Gates?
Aye.
Mrs. LeBlanc Parks?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Aye.
Mr. Fritz?
Aye.
Mrs. Wagner?
Aye. We've asked Melissa to administer the oath to us. New members.
Are we all standing?
You guys can just stand right where you are, if that's all with you.
Sure. I do have one copy in case we get
Each Board of Education member, before taking his or her seat on the board, shall take the following oath of office. I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Brandon Rogers, solemnly swear
that I will faithfully discharge the duties
that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of member
of the
office of member
of the Board of Education of Dixon Unit School District 170,
the Board of Education
of
Dixon Unit School District 170,
in accordance with the Constitution of the United States,
in
In accordance with the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the law of the State of Illinois,
and the law of the State of Illinois,
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
I further swear that
I
I further swear that
I shall respect taxpayer interests
I shall respect taxpayer interests
by serving as a faithful protector
by
by
serving as a faithful protector
of the school district's assets.
of the school district's assets.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression
I shall encourage and respect the free expression
of opinion by my fellow board members
Of the
of
opinion
opinion
of
by
my
my
fellow board members
members
and others who seek a hearing before the board
and others who seek a hearing before the board
while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority
I shall recognize that the board member has no legal authority
as an individual and that decisions can only be made
as an individual, and the
and
decisions
that
can only
decisions
be
can only be
made
made
by a majority vote at a public board meeting.
by a majority vote at a public board meeting.
I shall abide by majority decisions of the board
I shall abide by majority decisions of the board
while retaining the right to seek changes
while retaining the right to seek changes
in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role
As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility of my role
in the equitable and quality education
in the equitable and quality education
of every student in the district.
of every student in the district.
I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community
I shall
I shall
foster
foster
the
the
extensive participation.
That one.
formulate goals and define outcomes,
Formulate goals and
define outcomes,
and set the course
and
set the course
for Dixon Unit School District 170.
for Dixon Unit School District 170.
I shall assist in establishing a structure
I shall assist in establishing a structure
and an environment designed to ensure
and an environment designed to ensure
all students have an opportunity
all students have an opportunity
to attain their maximum potential
to attain their maximum potential
through a sound organizational framework.
through
through a sound organizational framework.
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment
of student achievement
of student achievement
and all conditions affecting the education of our children
and all conditions affecting the education of our children
in compliance with state law.
in compliance with state law.
I shall serve as education's key advocate
I shall serve as education's key advocate
on behalf of students and our community schools
on behalf of students and our community schools
to advance the vision
to advance the vision
for Dixon Unit School District 170.
for Dixon Unit School District 170.
And I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent
And I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent
to lead the school district toward fulfilling
to lead the school district toward fulfilling
the vision this board has created,
the vision this board has created,
fostering excellence for every student
fostering excellence for every student
in the areas of academic skills,
in the areas of academic skills,
knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
There being no further business be brought before the board, we need a motion to adjourn, sign, die.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. LeBlanc Parks?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Aye.
Mr. Fritz?
Aye.
Mrs. Gates?
Aye.
Mrs. Wagner?
Aye. We need a motion to appoint a president pro tem, Mrs. Eppen, for election of new officers.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Aye.
Mr. Fritz?
Aye.
Mrs. Gates?
Aye.
Mrs. LeBlanc Parks?
Aye.
Mrs. Wagner?
Aye. We need a motion, or do you go ahead
Yep,
and do
this
your
is
thing
me now.
first?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We need also a motion to appoint a secretary pro tem,
Oh,
Mrs. Grubik, until the election of new officers. It's.
oh, okay. No, I thought you were gonna do the
So moved.
Your part first, okay.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Aye.
Mr. Fritz?
Aye.
Mrs. Gates?
Aye.
Mrs. LeBlanc Parks?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Mrs. Wagner?
Aye.
Okay, nominations are now in order for the office of president. Do I have anyone who would like to make a nomination?
I wish to nominate Linda Wagner.
Do I have a second?
Did you mean a second person or second?
Yeah,
that
I'm
nomination?
sorry, second to the motion, the original motion. Sorry.
Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
I said, you think we'd know how to do this every 2 years? We do
I
it.
know.
It's just like brand new every time.
Is there anyone else who would like to be nominated for the office of president? Hearing no other nominations, we will now take roll call for Linda Wegner as president of the Board of Education.
Mr. Fritz?
Aye.
Mrs. Gates?
Aye.
Mrs. LeBlanc Parks?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Wagner?
Aye.
I'm no longer president, now you are.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, though. I appreciate that, and I do want to say if there are changes or suggestions, how things run or how they should run, you know, my door's always open, my phone's always ready to listen. So let me know if you want to do things differently as we go forward. All right, now what? I have to do it. Nominations are now in order for the office of vice president. Do I ask for a motion and second first? Or do I ask for nomination first?
And then a
Nomination.
second.
I wasn't listening. Are there nominations for vice president?
And I Randy.
A second?
Second? A second to the motion. Did we get a second to the motion?
I think John just said to the nomination. He is.
To the nomination.
We need a second to the
You're asking me for a
nomination.
second for the nomination, right? It's
Right,
not a
right.
motion quite
Okay,
yet.
right, okay. Roll call. No.
No.
Not quite.
Are there any other nominations? I'll get this right. Are there any other nominations for vice president?
Did you do the second?
Hmm?
Did you do the second?
I didn't do the second, no.
There was no second on there at the moment
For Mr. Rogers.
for Mr. Rogers' nomination for
Oh,
vice
I
president.
second it.
Oh. Who made the motion?
Me.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I'd like to nominate myself.
I'll second that.
Are there any other nominations?
Hearing none at this time. Nominations for vice president are closed. We'll do roll call for Brandon Rogers first.
Okay. Mrs. Gates?
Nay.
Mrs. LeBlanc Parks?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Nay.
Mrs. Wagner?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Fritz?
Nay.
Mrs. Wagner?
Aye.
I was afraid you were saving me for last.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So whenever there are 3 votes, this is on the second page of the information, whenever there are candidates that have split the vote, no candidate, oh, I'm sorry, we have to, so that resolution as is has split the vote. We will continue voting until one candidate receives a majority of the votes. So now up comes Mr. Wadsworth. And a roll call for Mr. Wadsworth as vice president.
Starting over.
Start over again.
All right.
And he is, the roll call's called for him first?
We just did Brandon, and it was a typo.
Oh, tied vote, okay, so you go, okay.
So then we go to the next one to see if we can get an untied vote. And then if not, we can explain what happens from there.
Okay.
Okay. Mrs. LeBlanc Parks.
Aye.
Mr. Rogers.
Sorry, what were, I'm sorry.
We're voting for
For
John.
John.
Okay, sorry. Nay.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Aye.
Mr. Fritz.
Aye.
Mrs. Gates.
Aye.
Mrs. Wagner.
Nay.
Since no candidate has received a majority of the votes cast, voting continues until one candidate receives a majority of the votes cast. At this time, does any candidate choose to drop out of the contest for the office before us, which is vice president, before we vote again?
I don't wish to drop out, but Linda, I'm wondering if there's an opportunity for discussion here at this point in the meeting?
There is, and, sure. I guess, we can do whatever we want, sure.
Cool. Yeah. So first of all, this feels good as a group that we've hit a little bit of friction. And I personally believe that friction makes us stronger between all of us, and I think that's good. And I'm looking forward to when we walk out the door here in a little while, hopefully a little while, and we can see that we are all one board united at that point, and I'm excited about that. Yeah, I've thought about this a lot, and obviously we're moving into a time here where we've got a big change coming up for the board as we replace our superintendent. Stability is something that seems to be very important for the group throughout this time. And Linda, I'm excited that you're going to continue as president in that role and continue in providing that stability. I also think that another important part of stability is diversity, and having diversity of thought and having different ideas brought to the table. I like to think that I bring a diverse body of thought and weird questions sometimes and different ideas. And so for me, I think that would bring strength to the group with myself in a leadership position to bring that diversity to the group. Yep, that's
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I do have to say, we have one other, Kathleen really wanted to vote. She's working, and she can call in. So, I don't know if we'll be able to get her. Would
I
this
have
be
to
the
go to
time?
my phone. Why don't we take another vote to see if there's anything different?
I'd like to speak first too.
Okay.
Is that what we're
Absolutely.
Yes.
The three of you have been on officers while I've been here, which is 2 years. I think it's good that if we change at least one officer. I'm a little disappointed that the 3 officers voted to retain yourselves, I will tell you that. But I want no friction at all. This is a good discussion, Brandon, I love you, I think you do a great job. This is kind of a repeat of history, if we all remember.
With all respect.
Unfortunately, with an even number, it can come out like this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and I think I'll speak as well. I think, being on the board for 9 years, I think I've learned a lot in those years, and I think support with Linda and the whole board as well, being consistent to each meeting, week over month, as shown. I don't think I've missed a meeting whatsoever in those 9 years. Maybe 1 or 2, but being consistent there, being open-minded, asking the questions, as John mentioned as well, with that is, definitely being engaged during the meetings and, being present and asking those questions when appropriate, so. I look forward to serve as vice president again.
Any other thoughts, comments?
I appreciate all of our different personalities, and I think is the strength of our board, that we do challenge each other and bring out different sides of problems and so forth. I think that does make us a strong board. I agree with that. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I'll echo what Dave said, though, about having some kind of change up. There's, regardless if it's me or whatever, it does seem healthy in a board environment to not have the same for a long time. We're gonna get a new superintendent, so that's gonna bring some new energy in here. I also like the idea of shifts and changes over time. I think that's in general a healthy thing. Whether that's in this current decision we're about to make here or in other things, I think that, yeah. And that's the Congress, they do that every 4 years, you get a certain amount of term. We don't have term limits, though, do we, on the school board? And so you can get into a situation where you get stuck in our ways, and I don't want to avoid that for us, and I like the idea of keeping us fresh and alive. I think that's all I have to say.
Okay.
Anything? So again, we will go through the vote as they were originally cast to see if a candidate receives a majority of the votes. First one's nomination for vice president was Brandon Rogers.
So we need roll call.
Mr. Rogers.
Aye.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Nay?
Mr. Fritz.
Nay.
Mrs. Gates.
Nay.
Mrs. LeBlanc Parks.
Aye.
Mrs. Wagner.
Aye.
Being a tied vote again, we will now go to the second candidate for vice president, which was John Wadsworth.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Aye?
Mr. Fritz.
Aye.
Mrs. Gates.
Aye.
Mrs. LeBlanc Parks.
Nay.
Mr. Rogers.
Nay.
Mrs. Wagner.
Nay.
I will ask one more time. At this time, does any candidate choose to drop out of the contest for the office of vice president before we begin to vote again? Or have anything else to share or say? I have to say, I love that you all challenge me every time. I'm going to need to pause the board meeting at 3:55 p.m. I just want to double check with council that we're following the appropriate procedure. And then if we need to see if Mrs. Schaefer is available for a vote.
Mark, would you make sure you talk to the Open Meetings Act with them? I'm concerned about that, but I don't know an answer. Aren't you calling Tim?
Yes, about Open Meetings Act with,
With somebody calling in on the phone to vote.
already checked that out, just in case, because we didn't know who was gonna show up today, so just in case we needed it. The board policy says that as long as they are at work and work is detaining them, they are allowed to call in. If they are on vacation, if they're just at home and choosing not to come, that isn't. Work is the only part of the board policy.
Illness or work.
Illness or work.
Is there a limit on that?
A limit such as,
How many can do that?
you have to have a quorum here,
Yeah.
yes, so you have to have at least 4 here,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. So we'll just put on hold for a few minutes.
All right.
And I will be right back.
You're back home.
So I just checked with board counsel Tim Zollinger. I will call Mrs. Schaefer, see if she is available. I will confirm with her out loud that she is at work and the time that she will be joining the meeting. The board then has to vote to have her added and acknowledged to the meeting. After that, then we repeat the process just as we do and go from there.
Okay?
Yes, I have other directions if needed.
Thank you.
How's that?
It's wonderful.
We're not gonna interrupt story.
I think she was having a board meeting due to her new position as director of the library. So she might not hear it, she said.
Kathleen, it is Margot Empen calling. It is about 4:03 p.m. We currently have a tie where the vice president is concerned, and council has advised us of how to proceed, and we can add you to the meeting. I believe you had a board meeting today, so could you please call my cell phone once you get this message, and we'll see where we are at in the process. Thank you. Bye-bye. So we can table the vice president at the moment. We can move to secretary and go through our nominations for secretary, see how that plays out. If we are unable in one or both, then the meeting can close with the president elected. We will then put on hold until the May 21st meeting, whatever offices are open, and that's what we will open with on the May 21st meeting. So my suggestion to the board would be to move to secretary to see how that goes, and maybe in the middle we can get Kathleen on the one that has a tie.
All right.
Board has to let me know how you'd like to proceed, so.
How would you like to proceed?
I think we should do that, move on to secretary. Do we have to vote on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we have
Yes.
I mean, do we have to vote to do that, to table it and move on to the secretary?
I believe we
Or
can
just agree.
table it and.
Or just agree?
Yeah, just table it till the next meeting, and like I said, we might get to come back to it. Is the board in agreement to table it? We can certainly take a vote just to make sure that everybody's on the record to table it. I don't know why we wouldn't, since we can't come to an agreement.
Right. And to move on to secretary?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Nominations are now in order for secretary.
So I nominate Melissa Gates.
Is that right?
I just did it.
Yeah. She just did it.
I know she did it.
I'll second the
I talked to her.
nomination.
We got a second.
We got a second.
I don't know what your health is.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Because I haven't seen you for a while.
Are there any other nominations for secretary? Hearing no other nominations for secretary, roll call vote for Melissa for secretary.
Mr. Fritz?
Aye.
Mrs. Gates?
Aye.
Mrs. LeBlanc Parks?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Wagner?
Aye.
It's up to the board here if you want to say we'll take another pause for 5 minutes, or whether you want to close it at the moment and then just pick up with vice president at the May 21st meeting.
can we move on to confirming a time and place
Oh,
for our
yes,
meetings?
sorry.
Give us a little more time. I need a motion that the board confirm the time and place for the Board of Education regular meeting dates scheduled for 25-26 school year as presented.
So moved.
Second?
You have a list of meeting dates
Yes.
in your packet. You received a list. Roll call, or are there any discussion about that?
Just as a reminder, we don't have a meeting usually in July. We are having the board charge or the board retreat on July 21st. And that's where we'll be looking at future goals and anything else as far as the next couple of years. So that's why even though it says no meeting in July, we have the board retreat, which will be at Nachusa Grasslands. It'll be
Yes.
posted here
Nice.
and public is still invited and that, but we'll get all that information out beforehand.
Great. Anything else? Roll call on the dates.
Mrs. Gates.
Aye.
Mrs. LeBlanc Parks.
Aye.
Mr. Rogers.
Aye.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Aye.
Mr. Fritz.
Aye.
Mrs. Wagner.
Aye. So we try her one more time?
Let me text her, see, she might be able to text easier if she is in her board meeting. I've just let her know we have a tied vote. Is she available to step away and vote?
Should we wait till 4:15? Give her a couple minutes.
Okay.
Do we know where at the Nachusa Grasslands the meeting's gonna be at?
It's their, they redid a barn and they have a big meeting room there. It's where their offices are too. but,
Okay, fabulous.
So,
There's a.
Not in the middle of the field somewhere?
not in the middle of the
Oh.
fields, no.
Not outdoor,
That might be kind of cool.
not outdoor education.
With the buffalo.
Literally where the buffalo is.
Yeah, it's like a conference room, so it'll have things we can hook up and.
Karen, do you know if that's off Naylor Road? Do you have any idea?
That's right off Loudon.
Loudon.
Loudon?
Yeah.
I think it's important to remove ourselves from this situation. Sometimes you think differently and think outside of the box in a situation like that. Doesn't mean we're playing, it means that we're freeing ourselves of some confinements maybe and, thinking outside the box in a situation like that, so.
We
I think that's
anticipate
important.
a full day, so we'll be providing breakfast and lunch to everybody and snacks and it's usually around an 8 to 4, 8 to 5. If we can get done earlier, great,
Right.
but we've got the conference room for the whole day.
Do we have a
Board goals.
facilitator? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Board goals, board evaluation. What else did we talk about? And we're open to suggestions. Facilities. Yeah, so,
At this time, it was gonna be internally. I haven't had a kind of a chance to talk about make sure everything that people want on the agenda for that day can be on there. And then if we do need someone perhaps from the Illinois Association of School Boards or someone who separately does it, we can look at that time.
Our 4 goals that we have worked on are achievement, facilities, parent involvement, community involvement, finances, usually right around those kind of topics will be our discussion.
I'll make sure to have those like at the June meeting. That way you've got a good month to look them over and think of what questions on that you have. And
Even though we have no new members, it's still important to update those, talk about those every couple years. And then district goals are formed out of those. Well, I do not think she's able to get away or
I've
heard the
even
call.
seen the little text bubbles, so I think she's
Oh,
in
she-
her board meeting, so.
Oh,
But there's not really much difference whether we finish it today or our next
No.
board meeting in a couple weeks.
Nope, we'll just start again and,
I didn't know we could wait past the 40 days.
in that case,
In
Tim said
this
you're
case,
allowed,
all right.
This is
Great.
not for the election of the officers. Are we bound by the same 40 days? I thought that
That's
was.
just certifying the board.
certifying the vote in
Oh,
40
yeah,
days,
I guess
right.
Yeah,
certifying.
but that's for the board,
And
That's done.
right?
reseating the board, you're right, we
Right.
reset the
We're
board.
just a board without a vice president
So-
until that time.
Oh, yeah, otherwise we would have no officers in this interim. So we have officers, just not a complete set. So
Need a
that's-
motion to adjourn then?
I need a motion that we wait until May 21st
Correct.
to proceed with the vice president election.
Also move.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Fritz?
Aye.
Mrs. Gates?
Aye.
Mrs. LeBlanc Parks?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Wagner?
Aye. Now I need a motion to adjourn the special meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.